If you've been waiting for the Santa Barbara housing market to either crash or take off, neither is happening. As of May 2026, this market is doing something much more useful to understand, and that is rebalancing. More homes are selling than a year ago. Prices have cooled off their peak, and buyers finally have a little bit more room to negotiate. But make no mistake, this is still a seller's market here in Santa Barbara. I'm going to give you the actual numbers, neighborhood by neighborhood, and then tell you exactly what they mean, whether you're buying, selling, or investing. Let's get into it. I'm Melissa Tierney with Keller Williams here in Santa Barbara. I'm a realtor, and every month I break down the local data so you can make decisions based on facts instead of headlines. Today we're covering South Santa Barbara County, that's Carpinteria, Summerland, Montecito, the city of Santa Barbara, Hope Ranch, and Goleta, using the most recent May and year-to-date 2026 figures. And if you find this useful, subscribe below so you can catch the next one. Here's the top line answer. Through the first 5 months of 2026, South Santa Barbara County recorded 596 home sales, which is up about 6% from the same period last year. So that activity is higher, not lower. But here's the interesting part. Even with more sales, the total dollar volume is around 1.74 billion year to date, which is down roughly 2% from a year ago. More transactions, slightly less money changing hands. Your first clue that the mix of what's selling has shifted toward the middle of the market. And all of this is happening with mortgage rates averaging about 6.67% in 2026, which is up roughly 6% last year. So buyers are showing up despite higher borrowing costs, which tells you that the demand for this area is very real and durable. Are prices going up or down? This is the question everyone asks, and the honest answer is it depends on which number you look at. And that's not me dodging, that's the whole story. Year to date in 2026, the median single family home in South Santa Barbara County is selling for $2,155,000. And the median for a condo is approximately $1,049,000. Compared to last year, those medians are a little bit softer. Single family is down, and in May specifically, both the median and the average prices were down about 6% of May versus May of last year. So yes, the typical home prices have eased off of the peak, but here's what most reports will not explain. A big part of that softening isn't homes losing value across the board. It's a mixed shift. Fewer ultra luxury homes closing in some months, more mid-price homes trading in others, and that pulls the median around even when individual home values are holding. So the proof is in the averages. In Montecito, the average single family sale price is actually up 16% year to date to about 8.3 million, while the median is down 7%. When average and median move in opposite directions like that, it's not a crash. It's a handful of trophy estates at the very top doing some heavy lifting on the average while the everyday market settles. And understanding that difference is the difference between panicking and pricing correctly. When it comes to inventory, how balanced is this market? Let's talk supply, because this is where buyers should pay attention. As of May 2026, South Santa Barbara County has about 3.81 months of inventory, which is up roughly 11% from last year, and it's among the highest supply we've seen in the last 5 years. Here's the general rule of thumb. 6 months of supply is considered a balanced market between buyers and sellers, and we're at 3.81. So even with more homes on the market, we are still technically a seller's market, just a far more comfortable one for buyers than the frenzy that we had a couple of years ago. And what that looks like on the ground is single family homes are still selling in about 30 days. Condos are selling in about 52 days. And in recent months, around 1 in 5 homes sold above asking price. And that's because well-priced, move-in ready homes, they still move fast. But overpriced homes sit. And that is the clearest signal that the market is normalizing. Cash is still king. If you want to understand why Santa Barbara doesn't behave like the rest of the country when rates go up, here's your answer. 41% of all year-to-date 2026 sales in South County were all cash. And in May alone, nearly half, about 48%, closed with no loan at all. When that many buyers are not using a mortgage, interest rates matter a lot less than the national headlines suggest. That's especially true at the high end. It's a big reason the luxury tier in Montecito and Hope Branch stays resilient, even as borrowing gets more expensive everywhere else. Neighborhood by neighborhood, averages across a whole county hide a lot. So let's go area by area year to date 2026. In Montecito, single family sales are down about 29%, only 63 homes year to date versus 89 last year. Yet the average price is up about 16% to roughly 8.3 million with a median of around $5.6 million. Fewer sales, heavier construction or concentration at the very top. This is the luxury market thinning out at the bottom, not failing. When it comes to Hope Ranch, it's a small market, but quite telling because single family sales are up about 21% and the median is up 11% to roughly 7.55 million. There's some strength at the top end. The city of Santa Barbara, this is the activity story. Single family sales are up about 18% year to date, 207 homes, but the median is down about 16% to around 2.1 million. More homes are trading at more attainable prices. If you're a buyer who's been priced out of Montecito, this is where the opportunity opened up. When it comes to Goleta, it's pretty steady and relatively attainable. Single family sales are up about 11% with a median around 1.55 million, which is still an accessible entry point into the South County single family market. Carpinteria's volume is up kind of sharply, actually. Single family sales are up about 35% with the median essentially flat near 1.85 million. Buyers are clearly finding value here, and the coastal lifestyle is definitely driving the demand. On the condo side, the city of Santa Barbara saw condo sales up about 14% with a median of around 1.075, and Goleta condos are still sitting near 995,000, slightly under a million, both genuine entry points for first-time buyers and downsizers. So what this means for you, let me make this practical. If you're a buyer, you have more selection and more negotiating power than you've had in years, especially in the mid-market. The city of Santa Barbara, Goleta, and Carpinteria. Rates are higher, but with prices easing and homes sitting a little bit longer, this is a window to buy without competing against 10 offers. Get pre-approved, fully underwritten, and be ready to act on the right property. And maybe, just maybe, if a property has been sitting for a little bit, we can talk to the other side about maybe a 2-1 buy down. It's worth an ask, and some people are going for it. If you're a seller, you're still in a strong position. Under 4 months of inventory keeps you in the driver's seat, but the days of naming any price and getting it are over. Pricing right from day one is everything. Homes that are priced to the current market and show well are still selling quickly and at strong numbers. Homes that chase last year's peak are the ones that are still sitting. And if you're an investor or a longtime owner thinking about a transition, watch the gap between the average and the median prices. The luxury and trophy segment is holding its value. The cash buyer pool is very deep and the mid-market is more liquid than it has been. For anyone considering selling a long-held property, this is exactly the kind of market where how and when you sell and how you handle the tax and the equity side matters as much as the sales price itself. That's a conversation worth having before listing. Let me answer the questions that I get the most. Is the Santa Barbara housing market crashing in 2026? No. Sales volume is actually up about 6% year to date. Prices have softened off their peak, but inventory is still under 4 months. And that's a rebalancing market, not a crash. Is it a buyer's or a seller's market right now? Still a seller's market, but a milder one. At 3.81 months of inventory versus the 6-month balanced benchmark, sellers retain the edge while buyers actually have a little bit of breathing room. What's the median home price in Santa Barbara right now? Year to date, 2026, the median single family home in South Santa Barbara County is about 2.15 million, and the median sales price for a condo is about 1.049 million. Why are average prices and median prices moving in different directions? Because the mix of homes that are selling has shifted. A few ultra high-end sales pull that average up, while more mid-price sales pull the median down. It's composition, not collapse. Do I need cash to buy here? I mean, it certainly helps. Being fully underwritten also is very competitive, but being a cash buyer is about 41% of buyers this year, and plenty of people financed, and they are still closing and with less competition. And this is a friendlier market for them than it has been. That's your South Santa Barbara County market update for May 2026. The short version is more homes are selling, prices are settling off the peak, inventory is loosening a little bit, and cash is still leading the way. A healthier, more navigable market than the headlines would have you believe. So if you're thinking of buying, selling, or making a move on a property you've owned for years, let's talk about your specific situation and the numbers behind it. There's no charge for the conversation. You can reach me, Melissa Tierney, Realtor at Keller Williams Santa Barbara. The booking link and my contact information are in the description below. Subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss next month's breakdown, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.